Hey everybody, it's Brooke and kinda Bella at the Physio Revolution. And we wanted to tell you a quick story about a patient who just came in and she was talking about her spine MRI findings. And once we got done talking, she said, Brooke, you have to tell everybody about this. This is super informative. So I said, of course, brilliant. That's just brilliant. And here I am talking to you, right? So what we kind of discussed was what's a common finding that happens in the spine as we naturally age. And what brought my attention to talk to her initially about was this research study that I find very informative and educational for most of my patients. So I want to share that with you today. So what a common diagnosis, well, let me tell you two common diagnoses that we see here at the Physio Revolution. We see a lot of people that come in with complaints about disc degeneration, if you've heard that, and disc bulging, right? And a lot of this stuff is very interesting to me mostly because of this research project that was done. So nonetheless, let's get to it, right? So I want to first explain what the difference is between the two if you're not aware of the difference. So I enjoy drawing, and of course, I have a nice whiteboard, so I drew you a picture. And to talk about first disc degeneration, what it means is right here you see we have a top vertebra, and we have a bottom vertebra, and then the space in between is the disc. And what naturally happens in disc degeneration is that this fluid-filled disc starts to lessen in height, which ultimately causes the vertebra to approximate. And so this might sound a little scary, but it's not, because it's natural and it happens just naturally as we age. And so in this research that I want to tell you about, they took a group of people and then they grouped them according to age, and they put them in an MRI tube to see kind of what naturally happens as people age. Now, the most interesting part about this is that none of the candidates had pain, right? No symptoms going down their leg, no low back pain, no nothing, right? And so what they came up with for finding, of disc degeneration was pretty high. And pretty informative, basically saying that of these people that were put in the tube, at the age of 30, 52% of them already had disc degeneration. And then at the age of 50, 80% of them already had disc degeneration. And then 70, it continues to rise to 93%, right? And so we're seeing these numbers just continually rise as we age. And none of these patients had any source of pain. So MRIs are interesting like that, right? But let's talk about another scenario that we see very common here is the disc bulge. And let me explain what bulging is, right? So again, another drawing. Here is the top vertebra. Here's the the bottom vertebra and the disc space in between. And I drew this nice little blue booger to represent a bulge, right? Typically what happens is the bulge happens in this posterior lateral, or this back corner compartment of our spine, and that is where a nerve root can lie. So sometimes with people who get a disc bulge, it can kind of cause some symptoms down the leg because it hits a nerve that sits in that back corner. But again, we're talking about the study of people who had zero symptoms, no low back pain, no radiating pain down their leg, nothing going on with them at all. And what was the finding per age group, right? So here are the statistics that I drew out for you. Excuse me, almost dropped the phone. With a disc bulge, at the age of 30, 40% of them already had a disc bulge on their MRI finding, but were asymptomatic. They didn't have pain. 50-year-olds typically had 60% of them had a disc bulge, and it continued to rise, right? So what this mostly means to us is that this is common, that this is very common to happen to us during the natural course of aging, right? We're not getting any younger, and we all know that wear and tear happens on our body. But this can be something that is on your MRI, and it may not be the source of your pain. And that's what I explained to my patient, and she thought that was absolutely super informative and educational, and she's kind of the purpose, so I give her all props for me making this video for you. But you know, we all have goals in life to get back to, right? Like for her, it's I want to be able to golf. I want to be able to play with my grandkids. I want to be able to get on the floor, get back up. I want to enjoy time with my family, my friends, and be active. And, you know, she's having back pain, brought up the MRI idea, you know, she had one of these findings, and we're talking through this, that this is just natural process of the age, and of aging, and there's conservative routes that we can go to decrease the likelihood of having to get sliced and diced on your back, right? It's not always indicated with these certain diagnoses. So I propose to you as well, find your local physical therapist, find your local chiropractor, discuss with your doctor what's a conservative alternative route that you can do, because there's a lot more options than making sure that you just get underneath the knife, right? And so if you're looking in the Denver area for a place to get that option and kind of learn a little bit more about that, we offer that here as well. And I leave you with that. And as you can see, I already have my coat on. I'm so sorry. It is a brisk 32 degrees here today, which makes me very excited, because what that means is snow is coming and boarding season is coming, so everybody can start getting up to the mountains, enjoying that. But nonetheless, I hope that you find this informative. Leave comments below. I love to hear from you and kind of get your thoughts and your comments on what was discussed today. But otherwise, happy Tuesday, and we'll talk soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.